Alright, YouTube, what's happening? Got my 470 back. Yay, that's what this video is about. It has been gone for nearly 4 months. We'll talk about that. That's why we're making this video. So, a little background. I bought this knife at the end of September, right around 1st of October, and I had a problem that a lot of people had with this knife was that the pivot was completely Loctited down. Like, people could not get it off. They had to get all creative. I know of at least 3 or 4 people on Instagram that had that problem. Mine, I didn't have a heat gun and didn't want to go out and buy a soldering iron, and I kind of felt like I should be able to disassemble this knife. I mean, it shouldn't be that Loctited, essentially. So I sent it into ZT and said, you know what, they'll take care of me. They've always taken care of me in the past. They're great. Customer service. Well, I hate making this video, honestly, because it's like, I don't like to do this, but it's like, I had to because it was just bad. So bad. So I sent it in on, well, you know what, it says right here. When you fill out this form, it tells you where, October 29th. So I sent it in, well, they received it on the 29th of October. And I sent it in, I waited a little while. So I sent it in, and, obviously paid for it on my own dime, sent it in. And then, so November 19th was the first email. So almost a month went by before any kind of communication, which I feel like that's pretty normal. Got an email from a customer service rep, I'm not going to say her name, from Kai. Hey, we received your knife. During the evaluation, we determined that the pivot set has to be replaced. It is not covered under warranty. While most of our parts are free, the pivot bolt set is considered a premium part, and there's a $10 charge. So, I was like, wait, what? Like, no, that's your mistake by your whoever just assembled this knife, put red Loctite on it, couldn't get it, that should be covered. So I called him and I said, hey, I don't think this should be, I should have to pay for this. I mean, it's only $10, it's not a huge deal, right? But it was more of the principle of the matter because it was their mistake. And she argued with me, they don't use red Loctite. I'm like, well, it was red Loctite. There's no way. And as we know, there was a few examples of this on Instagram. So I kind of, she was nice, went and talked to her manager. She said, okay, we'll cover it for you. So that was back on November 19th. So I just got the knife yesterday on January the 22nd. So, long time. From when I first sent it in, it's been nearly 4 months. So I followed up with a few times with them back on December. I mean, it went, so almost another month passed. Nope. December 5th. So almost another, about 3 weeks. Hey, can you tell me the status of repair of my 470? Your knife is in queue for repair. It will be at least 2 to 3 business weeks before it is shipped back to you. Due to an unusually busy holiday season, or normal turnaround times have been stretched by as many as 4 weeks. We appreciate your continued patience. Okay, it was December. I get it, it's holidays, right? But that was already 3 weeks had already passed since we discovered that we weren't going to charge it for the pivot. I mean, I figured I'd have it in my hands by then. So then, I kind of responded, well, I sent it quite a long time ago. Her response was, my apologies, we've gotten in a record number of knives this year, so we're working as hard as we can. Okay, so that right there is a red flag. They're getting that many knives in for repair. What's going on with ZT, Kershaw? Are we having some quality control issues? That's the things that are going through my mind, right? That was the last communication that I had with her. Actually, I emailed her back on the 7th of January. It's been another 4 weeks, and I still don't have my ZT 470 back. Can you please provide me with it? I mean, at this point, I thought they'd lost my knife. I thought they were going to have to replace it. So I got a phone call a few days ago. I think it was last week. And a gentleman I spoke to said, hey, we sent the knife to you, but we got it returned to sender. And can you verify your address? And I'm like, yeah, this is my address. And I looked at the form that I had sent, and I'm not going to show it just because it's my address, and I had put my correct address down. So they had screwed up again when they shipped it out. I was like beside myself. I was like, are you kidding me? So finally we get the knife back. So a pretty poor experience. I'm pretty shocked by it, honestly, but I haven't really ever had to send that too many knives into ZT, honestly, or Kershaw. At one time I took a few up to the factory because I was up in Oregon and I got them back the same day. I know that their production's ramped up. I know they've been producing more knives, especially on the Kershaw side. I love the 470. This is not taking anything away from this knife. I think it's a fantastic design. But the fact that they tried to kind of like place the blame on me and it took 4 months to get back to me is really not acceptable. And kind of, it puts a bad taste in your mouth as a consumer. And I've been a big ZT supporter and fan for a long time. You guys know that if you watch my channel. And I continue. I mean, this design is fantastic by Sinkovich, but the execution was good. It's just, with the I've had that Loctite issue with them for many years. I mean, going back years and years when I first took those back many years ago, they over Loctited the screws, and we don't use red Loctite. Well, then why the crap on my pivot now? I mean, it was 100% red Loctite. It was no way if you use blue Loctite that you won't be able to get the pivot loose, or the screws. I've had problems with the pocket clips. So I guess the point is, I just want to share my experience because I do love this knife, but 4 months, that's freaking ridiculous. Like, it really is. And especially because I had a lot of communication with them. The fact that they sent my knife back to the wrong address at the end was just kind of like, opening the cut and pouring a little more lemon juice on there. So wanted to kind of just share my experience. It wasn't the best, and I didn't really want to make a video about this, but I thought, you know what, maybe it'll, get back to them. Maybe it'll make them improve their processes, whatever they need to, because I think they're slipping lately. But again, 470 is a fantastic knife, and it came back good, and it just kind of they did replace the pivot assembly, and it wasn't Loctited. I can adjust the pivot as I need to, and it flips good. I'm gonna probably add some lubrication to it, some knife pivot lube or something. But so funny enough, the same day I got this back, I got the new bare knuckle in, and I kind of was hesitant on this knife just because of my experience with this. So. But I'm giving it a fair shot. I try not to be biased if I don't, I love ZT and Kershaw. That's the thing. I've been one of their biggest fans for a long time. It's just kind of really disappointing. And I get bad experiences are going to happen with every company. I'm not saying this is, always going to happen. But the thing that stood out to me is the record number of knives they've received this year. And it kind of tells me, and I don't doubt that they're blowing up their sales numbers and doing well, but it also tells me something maybe kind of slipping in QC if you're getting a ton of knives back for repair. That just seems rather large. And then the timelines were never met. They were promised, and yeah, it was kind of just a nightmare. So anyway, guys, have it back. Love this knife. It's one of my favorites. Going right back in the EDC rotation. I'll have a review out on the bare knuckle soon. It's a good knife, guys, for the price, and it's USA made, and it's got the the nature, the 7777 is the model number, but it's like the 777 and the Natrix, and it's just a larger version of them. I would love to see this knife produced in M390, some 20 CV, some of those kind of stills that they did with the dividend. I think they did the dividend and the link in M390. I would definitely buy this knife when it came out with those steels. And I mean, obviously buy this knife now. 14C 28N is not a bad steel at all, but I would really, really like it. It would excel big time with one of those steels in this, and charge a little bit more like they did with the dividend. And man, you'd have quite a winner on your hands. But we'll go more into depth in the actual review of this knife. Just got it yesterday, so give it some more time. But all right, guys, thanks for watching my video. Let me know your thoughts on if you had any experiences with the ZT customer service and repairs and such. Just curious to hear your experiences. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.